J Drone here. What is going on, guys? So I got my monster bugs here that's set up for extended FPV range, 5.8 gigahertz. I got the Q6 underneath it. I have a transmitter on top. I got a battery and back to power that. And check it out. We were in the desert and I could not get any satellites. You guys can probably see that. I got 10 satellites. So it must have been a spot in the desert I was at, because I also flew in another desert where I had satellites. So it's definitely not the drone. It's not where the transmitter's setting. I know that. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to walk you through it. I only have one hand, so I can't show you exactly how I'm going to do this. But this little red plug is going to plug into that. That's going to power this. We're going to turn the Q6 on. We're going to plug that plug into it. That's going to send out 5.8 gigahertz. We're going to go over here to our Hog goggles, and we're going to plug that wire into the cell phone that is inside this, and bamza, that's it. And then we're going to give this a fly. I'm going to try to record off the cell phone, that way you guys can see the 5.8 gigahertz feed. I also will be recording off the Q6, so I might post that up too. Alright guys, so here we go. This is from the cell phone. This is exactly what I saw in this from the cell phone that's in the Hogs goggles that has the OTG receiver on it. This is the clarity that I'm dealing with. As you can see, there's not a lot of static, there's not a lot of feedback and whatnot. We're going to fly this out to 999 meters. Can it go further than that? Yes. The controller itself just maxes out at that, and I kind of want to just do this test for you guys because I've never really done it. I've kind of always, when I've done these runs, when I did the over 999 meter run, I've showed you the Q6's footage, which I do have the Q6's footage, and it's 60 frames per second, 1080p. We could record in 4K if we wanted to, but again, this is just to show you exactly what I'm seeing in these goggles. Again, we're using DR1 Hog goggles that houses a cell phone, and we have a receiver on the back of it. And what I'm doing right now, I'm kind of just following this road down, that way I keep my orientation. There was a time that I just flew straight out and didn't pay attention to my surroundings, and then I was in a grass field and I had a hard time trying to orientate my way back. So if you're going for a distance run, try to keep your eyes on stuff that you know, and I know this road very well. I've biked it a million times, so there's no way I'm getting lost following this road. Again, guys, I showed you the setup that I'm using in the beginning. It's a cheap setup. The Q6 is the most costly thing out of the setup, even from the receiver and the transmitter. That's the most costly thing. So we're getting out here. As soon as I decide to buckle my head backwards, when I decide to yaw, that's the 999 meters. And I'm fortunate that the goggles that I'm using, the DR1, as you can see, we're starting to get a little bit less HD type quality to it, where it's fuzzling a little, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. If we were a lot closer to the ground, I'm sure it'd be a lot clearer. But yeah, so at this 999 meter mark, the way I was able to tell it was just pop my eyes down, and we've hit it there. You saw a little bit of static, not much. Just pop my eyes down. I didn't have to take the goggles off, and just looking downwards, I was able to see the telemetry on the controller. So we're going to go ahead and fly back here. We're also going to show you the second abyss, which is a much larger abyss, and we will kind of do a little fly down the abyss. Just to kind of show you that you can use this as an explorer drone, man. It is really windy. Right here, I kind of wanted to stop and show you, but as you can see, we kind of flaked out a little bit, so I'm gonna want to not stop and just continually round about like I'm about to show you here, and continue nose facing downward pitching. That way the wind's not pushing this drone around. It is a brushless drone. It does well with wind, but if you're just sitting in one spot, you will have the weeble wobbles, as you saw where I tried to stop at the edge of this abyss. But we're gonna kind of just fly towards it here and show you the second abyss. I have been down in that abyss, and what did I go down there for? To recover a striker. To recover an X5 clone striker. It was my second drone, and I was not willing to get rid of it. That is a nasty abyss down there. I actually had to crawl up the side of it, and it took me probably about an hour and a half, and I lost daylight completely. But it was an adventure. It absolutely was an adventure, and that's part of this drone thing. Is kind of venturing out into the woods, doing a little bit of mountain climbing, scaling some small abysses like this if you have to, if you drop a drone down in it. And right here, we're just going to turn this, and we are going to kind of fly down this. Now, one thing to keep in mind, you want to keep your antenna above your head, so to speak. And as I'm pitching forward here, I wasn't kind of keeping aware of my altitude, so as you can see, we kind of get a little bit of flaking. We're flaking out just a little bit, and again, it's not bad. It's not bad at all, but right there, starting to flake a little bit. So I raise my altitude here and get above those trees, and then you don't have that. And myself, I'm standing, you should be able to see me, let's see, right there. I have my shirt off, so I'm like really white Blair there, despite all the sun that I got when I was traveling the United States, Route 66 and whatnot. I'm still Casper the Friendly Ghost down there. And again, we're just going to kind of cruise around here. This is what you can expect. If you want to fly this drone FPV, you don't need a dope set of goggles or anything. The simple setup that I have, you can do it with. You can also do this with just about anything else. I've stuck this on a WL Toy Storm and a ground and pounder RC car, and was on a graffiti highway and kind of just went with it, man. And that was fun. That was definitely a new experience. I'm used to being in the sky, not used to be grounded with FPV, but being grounded with FPV is pretty neat. And there's Casper right there. I'm just gonna fly up a little bit. I'm gonna try to get close to myself here, guys, just to show you the setup that I'm using, that there's no trickery here. I don't have my Maker Fire goggles on. I'm using the DR1 shells that just hold a cell phone, and there you can see the receiver antenna sticking off of there. That's my setup, man, and it works great. Again, I've had this out way past the 999 meter mark, and that's documented. There is a video on that, but again, I've never showed you what I see in the goggles, and this is exactly what I saw in the goggles. So that's the feedback that I get. And right up here, we are behind no, we're still in front of myself. If you go behind yourself, your head's filled with, no, I am behind myself there. I don't know if there's a little bit of breakup. What I was going to say, if you fly behind yourself, your head's full liquid. So you get a little bit of feedback here and there because the signal's trying to travel through your head. And as you can see, I take my goggles off here just to land it because I got the Q6 on it. Guys, I'm J-Drone. If you haven't subscribed, smash that subscribe button. And I'm actually going to do a hand catch on this because, again, the Q6 on it and there's a bunch of dirt down below. Alright, guys, later. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Maybe I'll post the Q6 footage later.